This is the Oversoul 7 trilogy written by Jane Roberts, and it's page 417. This is a part of the chapter. It's called Oversoul 7's Little Book, an Appendix. And Oversoul 7 sat by Tweety's bedside each night, reading from the special book he'd written just for her. But he also knew that it was written for all children, those young in years and those hidden within adults. He also knew that the book would automatically re-arouse the children within the adults so that they could be comforted in the present for the misunderstandings of the past. He said to Cypress, in quotes, "And my little book is magical. That's the beauty of it. Whoever really understands what I'm saying will have a charmed life. In fact, I have a whole chapter on that alone." So 7 read to Tweety a bit at a time. It's called The Charmed Life. "Each life is charmed," 7 said. "Yours and everyone else's, and you must never forget it. The instant you're born, you're charmed, because life itself is a charm. Each being is charmed into existence in whatever reality it finds itself, and given everything it needs to operate in that environment. Your body is charmed too. It's a magic part of everything else, springing up from all the things you see about you. Atoms and molecules go singing through the miraculous air, forming themselves into rocks and trees and dogs and cats and people too. You are magic. You charm the air so that it thickens into your body wherever you are. When you want to move, you think the air ahead of you into becoming your body, and the air behind you then stops being your body. All very magical indeed. You move your arm just 1 inch to the right, and the air to the left 1 inch stops being part of your arm. But it all happens so quickly, you're snatching of the air and making it turn into your body, that you never ever notice it at all and take it quite for granted, which is why it works so well, you see. But your life is charmed, and there is a secret, a very simple one. Really, it's not a secret. But you have to remember that your life is charmed. People who forget cannot use their magic nearly as well as they did before, and they have a tendency to get angry at those who can. So often they pretend that no magic exists at all. Then they evolve great philosophies to prove it, which is itself magical, of course. But they can't see that because they're so convinced that magic doesn't exist. And many people forget how simple and natural magic is, so they evolve long theories and methods that are supposed to make it work, when you and I know, and everyone else really knows, that magic happens by itself, because that's what magic is. But people are also very creative. Magic again. So they make up gods of this and gods of that, and realms and spheres and maps to chart out in advance where magic might be taking them, so they don't get surprised which is silly because magic goes where it wants to, which is everywhere. And when you try to map it out in advance, you really cut yourself short, because a characteristic of magic is that it automatically turns into whatever you want it to be. You create your own reality with it, so whatever maps you make are real. And if you forget what magic is, then you're liable to think that your map is the only real one. And all others are false. You get in a terrible bind, fighting over which way is right, which road or map, while all the time, magic is what makes the maps. And a great variety of maps can appear in the twinkling of an eye. Particularly when you grow up, many people will tell you that there is no magic. If you believe them, then you'll forget too, and you'll act as if you aren't charmed and bring unmagic into your life. Which is magic too, you see. But it's magic that doesn't know itself. Then you'll create things that go with unmagic, like sorrow or sickness, and you'll have to deal with them at that level until you remember that your life is charmed again. So, in the meantime, you'll feel nasty and unloved and angry way beyond what is natural, and have to worry about sad or fearful emotions and what to do with them, when magically you'd know they would just come and go exuberantly, like summer storms. But anger and hate and sorrow are all magic too, and left alone, they'd lead you back to the knowledge that your life is charmed, because hate is love looking for itself every place but where love is. And love is what you feel for yourself when you know that you are where you're supposed to be in the universe, and that you're lovely just because you are, and of course, charmed. Not only that, but you're also the magic maker, the inner living part of you that forms your life. But consciously, you have to know this, accept and acknowledge it, and let the magic of yourself happen. That way, you're directing the magic of yourself. But it's even more fun just to let the magic happen as it wants to, because it's your magic. And that way, it keeps telling you more and more about your magical self. Then the magic flows through you with unimpeded delight. If you keep saying, quote, "I want it this way and no other," then you may be limiting your physical experience, because there's no doubt that your inner magical self knows more about your potentials than you do, and it will tell you quite clearly if you will only listen. To many adults, all of this sounds too simple and unintellectual, because unfortunately, many of them think that the mind is just something to say, in quotes, no with, and to keep out magic. Nothing could be further from the truth. If you use your mind to say no to magic, then it's like closing doors to your own charmed existence and refusing to use the full power of your life. Everyone works with magic, whether they realize it or not. Beliefs are magic too, you see. Many people think that one particular belief makes everything right, or makes magic happen. As long as they believe that, they're all right for a while. But if they start doubting that belief and don't find another one to replace it, then they think that they have lost their magic, or that life has. Instead, of course, the magic is there all along. But people love systems, so they use all kinds of beliefs, some of them quite handy, as aids, and they travel through belief systems, sometimes going to considerable trouble to do so, when all they really have to remember is that they are magic themselves, and their lives are charmed without their having to do anything about it at all. And your conscious mind is magic too. Its workings are mysterious and complicated and simple and clear at once, like the air is. Your conscious mind looks out through your eyes and knows parcels of air as its body, and smiles through cheeks and skin, the same way that the moon shines through the wide skin of the heavens. See how clear and mysterious it all is. So, in a way, it's silly for the conscious mind to question magic, because, well, it's so magical itself. But systems of magic are silly too, and all of them are really based upon doubt. Now, magic is considered so tenuous that someone has to be at it all the time, making spells or paying someone else to do it. And the spells all have to be done just right, so people concentrate on how to do this spell or another. This gets very complicated, and many adult books deal with the subject. But everything is a spell. Your words and thoughts are spells. Science is just another system that tries to discover what certain spells cause certain effects. Usually, of course, scientists don't understand magic any more than priests do, and they all get caught up in their own complicated methods. There isn't much basic difference between muttering a lot of different phrases or drawing magic circles to protect yourself against illness and taking handfuls of pills given to you by doctors. Both methods work if you believe in them. Though the practitioners of one method will never agree that the other way works at all, of course. And unfortunately, neither side really understands magic, which is behind all of the spells and methods and formulas. Spells work if you believe in them, only you do not need spells at all. Everything happens by itself. You happen by yourself. So does the world. And the principle behind it all is magic. And magic is the beingness within and behind all things. I will end it there. And the next installment will be The Body and Creaturehood, page 420 of the Oversoul 7. Further education of Oversoul 7. Ciao. Good night.